The Curse of Crystal Lake. Abandoned babies haunting the waters for vengeance. Anna stared out at Crystal Lake, the sun casting unsettling shadows across its glistening surface. Whispers of a dark past clung to the mist, curling around her like the arms of unseen spirits. Some said the lake was cursed, holding the souls of abandoned babies, left to roam the depths in search of vengeance against a cruel world. The legends echoed in her mind, an eerie reminder of why she left this coastal town behind. Returning home as a marine biologist to care for her father felt like a twisted fate. The wind howled, carrying echoes of old secrets. She found herself in the attic, dust motes dancing in the slanting sunlight, her heart pounding at the thought of discovering something new. And that's when she stumbled upon the letters, yellowed edges, shaky penmanship. Her great-uncle's name was scrawled at the top, a renowned oceanographer who disappeared under circumstances as murky as the lake. "Did you hear that?" she murmured to herself, feeling the weight of unseen eyes watching her. Lucid images flashed through her mind of her father's decline and Mark's pleading eyes, begging her to stay away from the past. Yet some fierce instinct urged her forward, deeper into the lake's mysteries and darker secrets. Suddenly, a chill swept across the surface, as if the water itself was trying to warn her. Would uncovering the truth mean facing the wrath of the lake? Just then, a glimmer caught her eye, a pendant drifting just below the surface, its surface glistening with an otherworldly allure. Could it belong to her great-uncle? Would it unlock the secrets hidden beneath those dark waters? Anna stood frozen, uncertainty tugging at her heart. The echoes intensified, a cacophony of mournful cries swirling around her. Would she confront the darkness of her family's past, or succumb to the lake's alluring whispers? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give. The sun dipped lower, dimming the world around her, leaving a chill that seeped into her bones. What's down there? But before she could fully commit to the pull of the water, her brother Mark's voice echoed in her mind, bitter and warning. The strained conversations from the past month replayed like a broken record. His face, wrinkled with concern, flashed before her. "Don't go near the lake, Anna. It's not safe." Suddenly, a loud splash broke through the air, jolting her from her daze. She whipped around, eyes wide. A figure emerged from the water, dark and drenched. "Mark?" Panic clawed at her as she took a step back. "Anna!" It wasn't Mark. A stranger stumbled onto the shore, completely soaked, breathless, eyes wild. It was Tom, the town's local historian, often regarded as a bit of an eccentric. Yet there was fear in his gaze, something that sent her heart racing. "Tom, what on earth?" she exclaimed, panic twisting at her gut. "What happened?" He shook his head. "Rue, what awakened?" Confusion and fear tangled in her mind. Tom stepped closer, his voice trembling. "The abandoned babies, the spirits of the lake, they're restless. They want to take." A rumble echoed beneath their feet. The ground shook, and the water pulsated with an energy she couldn't comprehend. Anna stumbled backward, panic clawing at her throat. The pendant. Was it the cause? "Tom!" she shouted, but the air around them suddenly thickened with a deep, guttural cry that sounded like a chorus of lost souls. "No!" He turned, ready to leap back into the lake, but something dark and swirling appeared beneath the surface. The water churned violently, and shadows twisted beneath, indistinguishable shapes circling in a relentless dance of chaos. Choking back her fear, Anna pressed forward. "We need to help them, Tom. We can't just let them." But before she could finish, Tom recoiled, eyes wide in horror as the water erupted. A shadowy figure lunged from the depths. Graspy. "The lake is hiding the truth of our past." He looked around, his expression shifting from fear to determination. "You have to understand, Anna. Your family is tied to this place in ways you wouldn't believe. Your mother." A slip of memory flooded back, long buried. Her mother's quiet tears, whispered late-night regrets. "What about her?" Anna forced the words out, sensing that everything was tilting. She felt the weight of the lake's curse pressing down like a lead blanket. Tom stepped closer, his voice urgent. "She made a choice, Anna, to protect you. But that choice came at a cost. This lake, it holds her secret, your family's secrets. You're connected to the abandoned, to the lost." The otherworldly scream roared again, drowning out his words, and in that moment, the pendant blurred with a brilliant light. Anna's eyes widened in recognition. It was her mother's pendant, the one she never saw as a child. She had always assumed it was lost. But now, Tom's urgency sharpened, but the ground trembled more fiercely, tearing cracks in the earth, as if the lake itself wanted to reveal its truths. But Anna couldn't move. A realization shot through her, her purpose. "I can't leave. I need to understand." Suddenly, something heavy fell from the sky. A shadow, a figure descending like a storm. Anna looked up, instinctively ducking. A massive bird. No, something else entirely. Its wings formed from fog and shadow, spiraled down, flapping to the edges of the lake. As it landed, the world stilled. All sounds ceased, even the cries from the water. The creature turned, revealing a face that was both human and otherworldly, a grotesque mash of beauty and horror. It opened its mouth, and the very air shook. "You seek truths, Anna, but are you ready to accept them?" Anna felt a heat rising within, a fire ignited in her chest. The weight of generations rested on her shoulders. Every rumbling moment in the air. And in this moment, as the veil lifted, everything she thought she knew shattered, leaving only a chaotic rush of possibilities. What did she truly want to face? The past? The curse? The truth? Anna plunged into the water, where light and shadow twisted together, in a sensual dance that promised revelation and despair. Would she emerge with the truth, or be swallowed whole by the legacy of Crystal Lake? The answer was just out of reach, buried under layers of mystery. Waiting for her to discover, Anna plunged into the water, the cold shock wrapping around her like a blanket of dread. The darkness swallowed her whole, pulling at her limbs, dragging her deeper into the abyss. Every instinct screamed to turn back, to swim to the surface and escape this nightmare. But she felt something more, a mix of fear and hope intertwining, whispering promises of truth that only the lake could unveil. Light flickered around her, shifting with each frantic movement. The pendant glowed fierce. "Who are you?" Anna called out, her voice muffled by the water. barely a whisper against the roar of desperation surrounding her. A sudden surge of force sent her tumbling in the depths. Panic clawed at her as she fought to regain control. She needed to swim up, to surface and breathe. But the lake had other plans. The shadowy figures danced around her, as if warning her to stop, to leave while she still could. In that swirl of chaos, something caught her eye, a figure that stood apart from the rest. It was a shape she recognized, an outline framed by the ethereal glow of the pendant. It was her mother, young, beautiful, and filled with an otherworldly grace. She hovered just beyond reach, extending a hand as though asking Anna to join her. "Mom?" The word burst from Anna's lips, painful and raw. "Is that really you?" But as she reached out, the vision faded, replaced by an explosion of darkness that rattled her very core. Her body screamed for air, but her mind was drowning. Then everything went silent. Time seemed to freeze. From the darkness, a figure emerged, huge and menacing. It was the creature she had seen before. The grotesque being formed from fog and shadows. It spread its wings wide, and in that instant, something shifted in the atmosphere. The water began to glow, a blinding light illuminating everything around her. She squinted against the brightness, shielding her eyes. The creature landed in front of her, its gaze piercing. "You seek your mother," it murmured, the voice resonating like thunder around her. "But the truth you pursue is entwined with the very fabric of your being." "What do you mean?" Anna's heart raced as she felt the tug of darkness at her edges. But the light remained strong. It felt like hope and despair, wound tightly together. "Your mother's choice," it began, the shadowy figure looming closer, merging with the light. It was not merely one of love. It was a sacrifice. Panic washed over her. Confusion and, "No, that can't be." But the shadows swirled again, and suddenly she was thrown into flashes of memory. Her mother sitting by the lake, tears in her eyes, the anguished echoes of babies crying in despair, the hidden envelope in the attic, containing secrets better left unread. "No," she whispered, the weight of truth pressing against her chest. "This isn't possible. My mother loved me." "Love is a complex web," it replied, its voice heavy with sorrow. "Bound by sacrifice and the weight of decisions. You are here because she chose life. But those who were abandoned, they never found peace." Before she could respond, the world around her shifted violently again, and the lake erupted. The shadowy figures breached the surface, wailing in unison, as if mourning the life Anna now questioned. Cold dread flooded her senses. "Anna!" a voice shouted, pulling her from the depths of despair. Tom's face appeared, panic written all over it. "We need to get her out of here, now!" And then, silence. The shadows froze. The cries ceased, as if time had been plucked from reality. When the light finally faded, the lake shimmered eerily, calm as a mirror, revealing figures, faces she recognized. Her mother, Mark, even Tom stood under the surface, still and watching her with an emotion she couldn't name. Sorrow, regret. "What is happening?" she murmured, her voice trembling, as she realized their submerged presence. They weren't just watching. They were part of this. And then, the realization hit her like a punch to the gut. No, this can't be real. Anna felt her heart race, the pounding rhythm echoing in her ears. Each face was a reminder, a warning of the ties that bound her to the lake. "No!" she shouted, her voice breaking through the layers of confusion. "You can't want this! You can't be part of this curse!" But their expressions barely changed, and in that moment, the lake shimmered ominously, swirling energy rising again, beckoning he. Would she embrace the dark legacy of her family, or fight against the currents of their past? The lines between love and sacrifice blurred, memories intertwined with sorrowful shadows, and in that moment, Anna knew all she had ever known was just beginning to unravel. And deep within the murky depths, the cries of the abandoned grew louder. The lake was hungry, and it wouldn't stop until it claimed everything. Anna stood before the water, heart racing, mind spiraling. All those faces, her mother, Mark, Tom, hovering just beneath the surface. It felt like an endless abyss, waiting to swallow her whole. The shadows twisted, loomed larger, and she felt their weight like a stone pressing against her chest. Was she ready to face this? The lake's cries turned silent, but their silence screamed louder than any wail. The air before her shimmered, the heat of 1,000 questions swirling in chaos. She could feel the truth dangling in the air, teasing her like a cruel game. At that, it was impossibly large, cloaked in darkness, wings unfurling like storm clouds. As the light dimmed, figures emerged in its wake, those who had once been lost in the water. Anna felt her heart stutter as the realization hit her. They weren't just spirits. They were souls tethered to a destiny far beyond what she understood. The air crackled with energy. It felt like a thunderstorm in her chest, a primal fear and longing. The creature turned its attention to her. Eyes glowing, a piercing green. "You desire knowledge, yet knowledge comes at a price." What price? Anna's voice trembled, caught between defiance and despair. The creature hovered, unblinking, as if it weighed her soul. To uncover the truth of your past is to unravel the fabric of your life. Are you ready to bear witness to the reality that lies beneath? Anna braced herself, thoughts racing. The memories of her childhood flashed before her. Nightmares seeped in shadows. Her mother's quiet sorrow. What secret H? Memories flickered, like damp flames, revealing the truth she craved. She saw her mother, standing by the lake, tears streaming down her face, cradling a small bundle. The soft cries of a baby echoed in her ears. "Anna," her mother whispered, the weight of grief palpable. "I wanted to save you. Forgive me." Confusion was a shroud cloaking Anna. Horror surging again as she glimpsed another figure in shadow. A man with familiar eyes. It was her father, standing with her mother. "We needed to protect her," he said. From what? Anna wanted to scream, but silence engulfed her. Suddenly, the light returned. Visions flooded over her like a tidal wave. A multitude of choices, tides pulling at her family. It wasn't just about her. It was about all the kids, the unclaimed souls tied to the lake. Anger ignited within her. "I can't believe this," she gasped, struggling against the torrents swirling around her. "I won't accept this." But another voice pierced through, soft yet commanding. A flash erupted, cutting through the heaviness. She saw Mark standing firm on the edge of the lake, watching her, anguish on his face resembling the storm above. "Anna!" he shouted. "Don't listen to it! They will pull you under!" The gaze from the creature turned fiery. "You cannot escape what is written. This is your legacy." "No!" she screamed, fighting the currents with all her strength. "I will not be a part of this curse." But then the shadows shifted. The lake roared, and from its depths arose a jarring truth that shattered her senses. Figures emerged, her mother and father, intertwined with those lost souls of the lake. Their faces twisted in pain. "Anna, we did this to protect you. We sacrificed them so you could live." Their voices were ripped from the depths of sorrow. "We loved you too much, but we turned our backs on them, and now they haunt us." Stunned, Anna's heart shattered. Everyone she thought she understood was drawn deeper into this web of life. "No!" Mark's voice broke through the chaos, rising above the cries. "We were wrong, Anna. We should have fought for them." "I never knew," she cried, eyes frantic as they darted across the water, caught between loyalty and heartbreak. The shadows twisted, raging against the light, and she crumpled beneath the weight of the haunting truth. A blast of energy erupted as a crack split the air. A strong gust flared from the depths, sending Anna spiraling back. She hit the water's surface hard, pain flashing through her limbs. The world spun for a moment, but she couldn't lose the connection. Inside, she felt alive. The truth burned brighter than even fear. "Choose!" the creature commanded, its form distorting as the cries of the lost echoed around them. "Release the past or embrace the darkness." Anna's heart raced, the pull of shadows more powerful than she ever imagined. Ties that bound her were woven with dread, but now they frayed, ready to shatter. As she reached out, he yelled, urgency lacing his tone. "You must end this. It's the only way." The very air turned electric. The creature howled as Mark fought against the darkness, trying to break free. "You don't understand," Anna shouted. "They'll take you too." Tension mounted, pulling Anna in every direction. Mark looked her straight in the eye, clarity shining through the chaos. "This is your truth. You have to face it, or it will consume you." The shadows surged, and Anna felt their grip tighten on her heart. The shadows threatened to pull Mark further under, and she didn't know if she could save him. "Please," she cried, reaching out for him, willing the light of their shared bond to break through. But just as hope flickered in her chest, the waters roared. The darkness erupted, overwhelming her, the screams rising higher as she felt their sadness wash over her. The ice shattered, and she lost sight of everything. Anna's breath hitched as the lake spun violently around her. The lake wasn't merely a prison, it was a gateway between sacrifices made and lives undone. It held the power to rewrite history, but it asked for blood. "Mark!" she screamed, her reality shifting. "Fight it with me!" But all that remained was darkness, consuming everything, and in the thick of it all, Anna had to choose. Would she dive deeper into the darkness, or rise with the cleansing light? And with the weight of ages pressing upon her, the shadows erupted in wild chaos. She could still hear the echoes of her family, love intertwined with madness, suffocated by truth. And then, everything exploded. A final pulse of energy broke through, twisting the very fabric of their existence apart. And Anna remained, heart pounding, left to circle the depths of fate, trying to weave together the strands of love and interminable loss. What was real? What was illusion? as the chaos around her threatened to consume. A single whispered truth reached her ears. "Anna, you were—" "No," she screamed into the dark, but the silence that followed was smothering, an unbearable weight pressing on her chest. That's when everything changed. A sudden jolt, a bright flash, blinding her momentarily. The world around her twisted like a kaleidoscope, colors melting into one another. Anna felt herself being yanked, not just by the shadows, but by something deeper, something she hadn't quite grasped. And then there was a warmth, a familiar sensation wrapping around her like a longtime friend. She gasped as glimpses flashed before her eyes. Laughter, soft hands holding her small ones. Memories she thought were locked away swirled back into her mind, like a tide returning home. Then the warmth ignited into fire, a raging inferno of emotions flooding her veins. "Mom," she uttered into the darkness, as the shadows backed away, revealing a luminous figure standing before her. It was her mother, eyes filled with sorrow and love, a sharp contrast to the darkness around them. Mark's voice echoed in her mind, everything he warned her about, all the fear and doubt he held so tightly. Then the shadows swirled back in a violent dance, and the creature was suddenly there, its presence overwhelmingly dark against the glow of Anna's mother. "Let them see, let them all see," it roared, and the air thickened as it pushed against her mother's light. Anna felt cold seep back into her body as the creature's shadows twisted. "What do you want? Why are you tormenting us?" she shouted, desperate for answers. Then the shadows drew back, parting to reveal a horrific truth. The creature morphed, transforming into a different shape entirely. A face she recognized, yet one she never thought possible. Mark's features twisted, a gruesome reflection bearing the mark of anguish and loss. "Anna," he said, voice a mixture of pain and malice. "You were never meant to be more than this. You belong to the curse." Shock coursed through her. "Mark, what are you saying? This is a trap." Anna's voice cracked, fear clawing at the edges of her mind. But Mark stepped forward, shadows coiling around him like a lover. "It was all for you, Anna. Don't you see? Your existence here was only a piece of the puzzle. The sacrifices needed to keep the lake alive made our family whole." And just like that, a shift occurred. He raised his hands, and suddenly chains of shimmering shadows wrapped around Anna's limbs, anchoring her to the ground. "You belong to the lake now. We can't turn back. You're more powerful than you know." "No," she cried, thrashing wildly against the bind. Panic surged within her. This couldn't be happening. "You have to stop. This isn't who you are." Mark's face contorted with a depth of despair and something else, something darker. "You may be the vessel now, but you're not like them. You're destined to release their energy, feed this curse." "Feed it? No!" Anna shouted, tears streaming down her cheeks as she felt the will. "Mark, fight this!" she cried, desperation laced in her tone. But Mark, drawn in by the shadows, struggled to find the man beneath those layers of darkness. The wild pulse of the lake surged, and Anna's surroundings spun, pulling her down deeper still. The cries of the lost souls echoed ominously, swirling around them, growing louder as if they were awakening from a long slumber. Suddenly, something broke through the surface of the water, sending ripples shooting in every direction. Anna's breath caught in her throat. The lake bore forth an ancient relic, a weathered chest, bubbling to the top as if beckoning her closer. "Anna, get back!" Tom shouted from somewhere beyond the chaos, his voice breaking through like a lifeline. But she was frozen, the energy of the lake thrumming beneath her, resonating in her bones. The chest, what secrets lay within? "What's in there?" Mark screeched. Shadows twisting maniacally around him, pulling at his sanity. "Open it! Open it! Anne!" Not now, not ever. With the adrenaline coursing through her veins, she tore at the chains, drawing upon any strength she could muster. The shadows flared, releasing their grip. "Mark!" she yelled desperately, recognizing the flicker of her brother beneath that churning tempest. But then, in that moment of clarity, the world shattered around her again. "I'm sorry, but I made my choice," Mark shouted, the darkness swallowing his sound as he lunged for the chest. And as his fingers brushed its weathered surface, the very air cracked like glass. Anna's vision distorted, flashes erupting alongside her brother's desperate grasp for the chest. "No!" she screamed, lunging forward to stop him, feeling the lake energy wrap around her like a tidal wave. Then everything exploded. The chest burst open like a bomb, shards of light puncturing the gloom. The water erupted, a surge of energy unlike anything she had ever felt. The lake cried out, twisting in agony, shadows wailing as the "You are the key to this curse. It lives within you." But Anna felt the ground shake, the weight of loss pulling on her very soul. She was caught, tethered between the echoes of her brother's cries and the desperate words of her mother. And then she saw it, the shadows converging, swirling with all-consuming darkness. The truth, tethered deep in the water, laughed chillingly, beckoning her closer. "Anna," whispered Mark's voice, now faint, echoing through the chaos. "Join us. Embrace the darkness and discover what you're truly capable of." Heart pounding, Anna's eyes filled with tears. Everything she thought she knew shifted under the weight of revelation. She wasn't just here to find answers. She was a part of this cycle, a cycle that would either destroy her or elevate her. With every nerve screaming in protest, she faced the void, mustering the last remnants of courage. She raised the pendant, glowing brightly against the shadows. "No, I won't give in. This isn't who I am." And with fate hanging by a thread, Anna inhaled deeply, ready to dive into the depths of the lake once more, where the true answers waited to be unveiled, or to consume her whole. Anna inhaled deeply, ready to plunge into the depths of Crystal Lake. The shadows thrashed around her with chaotic energy, whispers of lost souls clawing at her resolve. She felt the cold water tug at her limbs, but she fought against it, heart racing, determination surging with every breath. "I won't give in," she shouted again, feeling the pendant radiate warmth, her mother's love echoing through time. Moments stretched, exhilarating and terrifying. The lake roared around her, shadows swirling like a tempest. Then she locked eyes with her mother's flickering form, and Anna felt the pull of both love and sorrow crashing together like waves. The air was electric, humming with tension. "You are the key to this curse. It lives within you," her mother cried, voice filled with urgency. "Then I'll break open it." The voices surged, louder now, desperate. "Mark!" Anna called out, but he was lost in the shadows. Shadows that whispered of ancient curses and heart-wrenching secrets. "What are you doing?" a voice shrieked through the confusion. "You can't trust it!" But the shadows twisted, weaving around the chest like a lover desperate for attention. Anna looked from her brother back to the ancient relic, feeling the tension rise within her. Heart pounding, she reached toward the chest, feeling the water's turbulent energy curling around her fingertips. With a deep breath, she pressed her hands against the lid, a rush of warmth surging through her body as she pushed it open. The water erupted in a blast of light and sound, flooding her senses. Inside the chest lay an object wrapped in shadows. It glimmered faintly, a mirror, ancient and tarnished. Anna felt a pull toward it, a connection, as if it knew her in ways she didn't understand. Without warning, the mirror jolted. She cried, falling back, fighting the urge to look away. No more! But the mirror pulsed with an intensity that held her captive. Mark's voice sliced through, desperate now. "Anna, you have to listen. You can't break free without understanding it all." "Understanding what?" Anna screamed, panic breaking the surface of her composure. And then, the images swirled again. Faster, more frantic. A figure appeared, a dark silhouette morphing into the shape of a familiar face. Anna gasped as she recognized the eyes of the creature that had haunted her dreams. With chilling clarity, the truth struck her. It wasn't just a monster. It had been her all along. "You can't be serious," she stammered, disbelief crashing through her like thunder. "That part of you," the creature's voice rumbled in her mind. "You've always known it was there. The darkness flows through your veins, Anna. Embrace it, and you'll gain true power." "No," she protested, shaking her head. Tears blurring They revealed the truth about him, too. The sacrifices he had made, the darkness he had embraced to protect her, to keep her from knowing the truth. She had thought he was just her brother, but there was so much more. The lake gurgled violently as its waters whipped into a frenzy around them. "You think he's only your brother?" the creature taunted, eyes glowing with sinister delight. "He's your keeper, Anna. He's why you can't break free." Her stomach twisted, and she felt sick. "Mark!" she breathed, realization crashing over her like a tidal wave. Had he known all along? "Mark, what did you do?" He struggled against the shadows, voice muffled. "I tried to protect you. I had to." The creature continued, feeding off her confusion. "A guardian of secrets, twisted by love and darkness. You two are bound by fate. And now, Anna, you're the only one who can finish this." "No!" she shouted, clenching her teeth. "You will not take me!" But the shadows surged again. Reality fractured again, and a wave of energy collided with her mind. A burst of light that felt like salvation. It drew her from the chest, pulling her into a realm of clarity. She gasped, almost weightless in the glow. "Anna," she heard Mark's voice, raw and trembling. "Don't lose yourself." But in that moment, everything crashed together. The truth, the mirror, the shadows, and the promises of power. The light grew unbearable, overwhelming. She felt her heart clash with confusion. The weight of her family's secrets surging in waves. And in an instant, clarity shattered again when the mirror cracked, jagged lines erupting across its surface. As it splintered, a sound pierced the very essence of the lake, an anguished scream. "No!" she cried, watching the pieces scatter into the depths. Mark's screams mingled with the echo of the lake, drowning in shadows. She felt her heart rip in two, pieces falling into the abyss. "Mark, don't go." But then it happened. A surge of Dar. You were never meant to escape. The worlds collided, truth and betrayal, memory and pain, all merging into one. It was a revelation that left Anna breathless. As the shadows surged, everything she thought she knew collapsed. The feeling of betrayal coursed through her veins, mixing with a sudden urge to fight, to embrace her true nature, but not this twisted version. With a heart pounding like thunder, Anna prepared for the battle of her life. The shadows were everywhere, but so was her strength. She wasn't just fighting for herself anymore. She was fighting for Mark, her mother, the lost souls of Crystal Lake, and for the truth. "Prepare yourself, Anna," she shouted, determination igniting a fire within. "This ends now." And then, as darkness twisted and turned, she leaped into the fray, questioning everything, yet knowing one thing for sure. The battle for her soul had only just begun. Anna inhaled deeply, ready to plunge into the depths of Crystal Lake. The shadows thrash. "Fight, Mark. Don't let it win." But his face wavered, distorted by the shadows. Suddenly the ground beneath her trembled. The lake's surface erupted as if a volcano had awakened. A brilliant flash of light pierced the darkness. Out of the chaos, the ancient chest broke free from the depths. It floated before her, water cascading off its weathered edges, beckoning her closer. "No," she whispered in shock. "What is this?" "Open it." The voices surged, louder now, desperate. "Mark," Anna called out. But he was lost in the shadows, shadows that whispered of ancient curses and heart-wrenching secrets. "What are you doing?" A voice shrieked through the confusion. "You can't trust it." But the shadows twisted, weaving around the chest, like a lover desperate for attention. Anna looked from her brother, back to the ancient relic, feeling the tension rise within her. Heart pounding, she reached toward the chest, feeling the water's turbulent energy curling around her fingertip. Images flooded the surface, her childhood memories swirling together with old shadows, filling her mind with vivid scenes. She gasped as her family's history played before her. Each image felt like a shard of glass piercing her heart. Her mother cradling a baby, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Forgive me, I'm sorry, Anna." And then another scene, darker. Her parents, their hushed voices layered with dread. Secrets spoken in the shadows that laid heavy over every moment since. Anna felt the pain, confusion gnawing at her heart like a ravenous wolf. "Stop!" she cried, falling back, fighting the urge to look away. No more, but the mirror pulsed with an intensity that held her captive. Mark's voice sliced through, desperate now. "Anna, you have to listen. You can't break free without understanding it all." "Understanding what?" Anna screamed, panic breaking the surface of her composure. And then the images swirled again, faster, more frantic. A figure appeared. "Ah, you've always known it was there. The darkness flows through your veins, Anna. Embrace it, and you'll gain true power." "No," she protested, shaking her head, tears blurring her vision. "I won't let this define me." But the echo of laughter curled around her heart, a sinister chuckle. Anna's world tilted as she gazed into the mirror again, her breath hitching in her throat. Images of Mark twisted alongside her reflections. They revealed the truth about him, too. The sacrifices he had made, the darkness he had embraced to protect her, to keep her from knowing the truth. She had thought he was just her brother, but there was so much more. The lake gurgled violently as its waters whipped into a frenzy around them. "You think he's only your brother?" the creature taunted, eyes glowing with sinister delight. "He's your keeper, Anna. He's why you can't break free." Her stomach twisted, and she felt sick. "Mark," she breathed, realization crashing over her like a tidal wave. The creature continued, feeding off her confusion. "A guardian of secrets, twisted by love and darkness. You two are bound by fate, and now, Anna, you're the only one who can finish this." "No," she shouted, clenching her teeth. "You will not take me." But the shadows surged again, wrapping around her limbs, pulsing with power that felt familiar. She could feel it, deep within her, the darkness wanting to break free, the curse eager to be unleashed. The mirror continued to show cold truths, painful visions, and all the flickering memories of lives lost. And then something shifted. Reality fractured again, and a wave of energy collided with her mind, a burst of light that felt like salvation. It drew her from the chest, pulling her into a realm of clarity. She gasped, almost weightless in the glow. "Anna," she heard Mark's voice, raw and trembling. "Don't lose thyself." But in that moment, everything crashed together. The truth, the mirror, the shadows, and the promise. "Don't go!" But then it happened. A surge of darkness erupted from the lake, surging upward like a volcano. The monster, no longer a reflection, emerged, revealing itself to be something far more terrifying than she had ever imagined. As its form twisted and contorted, it took on the shape of someone she knew better than anyone. Her eyes widened, heart racing, thoughts whirling. Could it be true? "Mom?" The creature sneered, teeth sharp, eyes cold. "Yes, Anna. I am the darkness and the light. You were never meant to escape." Anna stumbled back, her breath catching in her throat. "What? No, you can't be!" Everything started to tumble in her mind, like a jigsaw puzzle coming apart. "You died! You sacrificed yourself! You chose to save me!" "Yes," her mother said, voice smooth yet cruel. "But at what cost? I had to become part of this place to protect you, to mold your path. The power of the lake runs through you." "No!" Anna shouted. "This can't be true." "Oh, but it is. You are the curse, Anna. You are the bloodline that feeds it." Anna clenched her eyes shut, willing this nightmare to vanish. "But why? Why us?" "Because we are bound to the lake. Its darkness is our legacy. Mark was only a puppet, hoping to protect you. He never understood the truth. Neither of you did." Her mother stepped closer, shadows entwining like snakes, constricting around Anna as the lake surged with life. "Mark!" She twisted around, heart racing, searching for him. "He needs you. He can't be part of this." "Part of this?" the creature snickered. "Oh, child, he had his chance. He chose to surrender to me. He has always been one with the shadows, not just your brother, but a vessel for their pain. And now?" It gestured at Mark, who was struggling within the shadows, features twisted in agony. So easily consumed. "No!" Anna screamed, the weight of his betrayal hitting her hard. "Mark, fight it!" She felt her heart shatter. Every moment they spent together. But as she struggled against the shadows around her, the weight of realization slammed into her. You were never the protector. You were the sacrifice, all along. They're all waiting for you, Anna, her mother hissed, eyes sparkling with twisted affection. The lost souls you were meant to lead. They need their queen. Anna felt a surge of understanding. I refuse to be this. And then the ground shook violently, tearing them apart as the shadows struck like lightning, sending her sprawling through the murky water. She gasped, but with the breath stolen, she pushed against the darkness surrounding her. Mark, fight! But he was fading. In that moment of clarity, Anna felt something stir deep within her. A fire, bright and shining, igniting in the depths of her soul. She remembered the warmth of her mother's love, not just the darkness. It hit her like a tidal wave. She could take control. I won't lead anyone to darkness, Anna roared, determination igniting every F. Anna! Mark's voice echoed through the chaos. What are you doing? I'm saving you, she cried, feeling her power surge forward. And if I fail, I'll make sure you know I loved you until the end. And then, in a moment that felt infinite, the brightness engulfed everything around them, casting the lake in an ethereal glow. But as the light spread, enveloping her mother and Mark, something shattered. The mirror's pieces began to reform, flickering images racing across the water, reclaiming the memories lost. Caught between love and betrayal, Anna realized her mother wasn't just the darkness. She was a part of it all. And as her powers clashed, the light launched outward, swirling around the shadowy legacy of the lake and her very life. This is not over, the creature shrieked, its form twisting violently before dissipating into nothingness, leaving only an emptiness behind. But before Anna could fully grasp the situation, something pulled her down, deeper into the abyss. What? Her heart raced as her surroundings twisted, memories flashing before her, memories of betrayal, loss, love. For a brief second, everything came alive again. Anna saw her mother's face flicker, shifting between warm and evil, here and not here. You unleash something far greater than you can control, my daughter, her mother whispered, pain in her voice. And before Anna could respond, the shadows erupted again, pulling her into the depths with a force that echoed betrayal. Everything changes now, she heard, just before the darkness swallowed her whole. Anna gasped awake, the world around her spinning. Flickers of memory battled for clarity, chaos and sorrow thrumming in her veins. She realized she wasn't just surrounded by shadows anymore. She was trapped in a web of truths she never expected. And the answers, instead of providing closure, brought only uncertainty. But deep within her, a flicker of hope ignited. Perhaps the darkness didn't only bring despair. Anna, she whispered. The image wavered like a mirage. You have to face it. Everything depends on you. The figure began to fade as Anna struggled to catch up. No, don't leave, Anna cried, reaching out, but the shadows pushed her back, swirling like smoke. Heart pounding, she fought against the current. She couldn't let this be the end. A strange warmth blossomed in her chest. The pendant, it glowed fiercely, lighting up the surrounding darkness. I won't let you take me, she yelled, feeling the power surge through her veins. But the shadows writhed, trying to snuff out the light. Then, in a heart-stopping moment, the water rippled, and time seemed to stretch. Anna turned, feeling something approaching from the depths. A figure emerged, not the creature, not Mark, but a massive, swirling cloud of shadows pulling together. Anna! The voice was unmistakable. It was Mark's, but twisted. The darkness hugged him tightly, and his form contorted with pain. Mark! Fig! And then chaos erupted. The water exploded around her, and a blinding flash cut through the darkness. The shadows recoiled, terrified of the light. Anna shielded her eyes, gasping as everything shifted. The chest, the mirror, everything began to swirl together into a vortex. Let go, Anna. You have to let go. Mark's voice trembled through the chaos. It's the only way. No, she screamed, understanding dawning too late. I can't lose you. Then it happened. The very fabric of the lake screamed, a deafening roar reverberating through the waters as the shadows twisted violently. Anna felt herself pulled into a riptide, into a whirlpool of despair. The crack of thunder echoed through the lake as light and dark clashed in a crescendo of chaos. Images burst forth from the depths, memories pouring out like a torrential downpour. Suddenly, she saw faces, souls trapped in the water. Each one looked familiar. Children, their eyes wide and pleading. Anna, the collective foe. No, I won't, she cried, battling against the pull of their desperate pleas. I won't. But their sorrow washed over her, breaking her defenses. It was overwhelming. The shadows shrieked, dancing around her like a storm, threatening to drag her down into the abyss. Anna, Mark's voice broke through. You have to realize what's really happening. What are you talking about? She yelled, fighting against the shadows grouping her limbs. She felt dizzy, the world spinning wildly. Trust me, the lake, it's connected to something far darker than we imagined. And just as Anna turned her head, something unexpected happened. The shadows surged forward, ripping apart the chaos with frantic movement. A figure emerged from the depths. Not just any figure, but a dark silhouette that was all too familiar. Mom? She whispered, dread washing over her. The creature transformed, and suddenly it was no longer a ghostly figure, but her mother, alive and engulfed in shadows. You? Anna felt her heart drop. No, this can't be true. But it is, her mother said, cruelty lacing her words. Everything you believe, everything you fight for, it all ties back to me. No, you sacrificed yourself for me. Did I? A chilling smile spread across her mother's face as shadows flicked around her. You see, Anna, sacrifice doesn't always mean losing oneself. Sometimes it means gaining power. Suddenly, everything clicked into place, the memories flooding in like a storm. Anna recalled her mother standing by the lake, holding that small bundle. The baby, was it? Wait, she gasped. You abandoned them because of me. That's right, her mother replied, the truth spilling out like poison. I chose you. They were nothing but obstacles. I made a deal with the shadows for your life. Shocked, Anna stumbled back. No, you can't mean that. Tears streamed down her face, mixing with the water. I did what I had to do. Her mother snapped, anger lacing her voice. Now, you will too. You are meant to take my place. A wave of pain surged through Anna. Mark struggled in the shadows, pulling away as he fought against the tide. But the water swirled relentlessly. Anna, he pleaded, tears of fear filling his eyes. Don't let her take you. Confusion gripped her heart. But you, she choked, unable to comprehend the weight of those words. The truth was suffocating. You betrayed them all for your own gain. That's the truth, her mother shouted, shadows swirling wildly around her. You can't escape what you are. You are my legacy. A roar erupted from the lake, a primal scream that shook the very ground. The shadows surged again, and Anna felt them pulling at her, wanting her to accept this dark truth. No, she screamed, conjuring every ounce of strength within her. I won't be part of your legacy. I refuse. The lake roared, and chaos erupted. Light and dark clashed furiously, and then in a shocking turn, everything too quieted. The light from the pendant burst forth, illuminating the lake's depths, revealing a brighter truth hidden beneath the shadows. Anna felt the warmth, wrapping around her like a hug, awakening something inside. Anna, her mother's voice croaked, suddenly softer. You must make a choice. Anna's heart raced. What choice? She breathed, fear gripping her tightly. Join me, and we can rule this place together, her mother implored, shadows swirling with the promise of power and stability. You can free the lost. You can become the vessel of change. No, Mark shouted. Don't listen. She's lying to you. But even as the darkness encroached, the light pulsed stronger, illuminating both the truth and the chaos. Anna felt the lake tremble, the remnants of lost souls still haunting her thoughts. Let me save you, her mother urged, voice coaxing and forceful. You have always been destined for this. It's time to embrace. A roar erupted once more from the depths as her mother's form wavered, and then time stopped. A blinding flash split the air, echoing over the lake and sending shockwaves through the water. Anna felt herself being catapulted into the unknown, weightless and boundless, as the truth unspooled like a film in her mind. As she hurtled toward the surface, everything washed away. The shadows, the dark promises, the false legacies, all of it. But just as the light shimmered above, she caught one last glimpse. Mark's anguished expression twisted in despair, the shadows grabbing hold of him, tighter than ever. Anna, he screamed, and then he was gone, swallowed whole by the darkness, leaving her gasping for breath at the abyss's edge. And the world went dark. As Anna floated between the light and the shadows, part of her shattered. A deep silence swallowed her entire being, stretching out against the chaos. Every ounce of pain gripped her heart as she struggled to understand. Had she tried, she felt the overwhelming weight of shadows closing in, suffocating her resolve. The cries from the depths were gone, but a heavy silence wrapped around her. Each breath felt like a fight, the cold water pressing against her chest. "Mark!" she shouted, desperation clawing at her throat. The darkness swirled around her like a living thing, threatening to pull her under. Suddenly, a flicker of her mother appeared through the murky depths. "Anna," she whispered, the image wavering like a mirage. "You have to face it. Everything depends on you." The figure began to fade, and Anna struggled to catch up. "No, don't leave," she cried, reaching out, but the shadows pushed her back, swirling like smoke. Heart pounding, she fought against the current. She couldn't let this be the end. A strange warmth blossomed in her chest. The pendant! It glowed fiercely, lighting up the surrounding darkness. The voice was unmistakable. It was Mark's, but twisted. The darkness hugged him tightly, and his form contorted with pain. "Mark, fight it!" she shouted. But he was sinking deeper, consumed by the shadows. He thrashed, his body disappearing beneath the swirling blackness. And then, chaos erupted. The water exploded around her, and a blinding flash cut through the darkness. The shadows recoiled, terrified of the light. Anna shielded her eyes, gasping as everything shifted. The chest, the mirror, everything began to swirl together into a vortex. "Let go, Anna! You have to let go!" Mark's voice trembled through the chaos. "It's the only way." "No," she screamed, understanding dawning too late. "I can't lose you." Then it happened. The very fabric of the lake screamed, a deafening roar reverberating through the waters as the shadows twisted violently. Anna felt herself pulled into a riptide, into a whirlpool of despair. The crack of thunder echoed through the lake as each one looked familiar. Children, their eyes wide and pleading. "Anna!" The collective voice screamed like 1,000 whispers at once. "You must choose! Release us!" The truth hit her like a tidal wave. "No! I won't!" she cried, battling against the pull of their desperate pleas. "I won't!" But their sorrow washed over her, breaking her defenses. It was overwhelming. The shadows shrieked, dancing around her like a storm, threatening to drag her down into the abyss. "Anna," Mark's voice broke through. "You have to realize what's really happening." "What are you talking about?" she yelled, fighting against the shadows gripping her limbs. She felt dizzy, the world spinning wildly. "Trust me, the lake, it's connected to something far darker than we imagined." And just as Anna turned her head, something unexpected happened. The shadows surged forward, ripping apart the chaos with frantic movement. A figure emerged from the depths. Not just any figure, but a dark Sig. "Mom?" she whispered, dread washing over her. The creature transformed, and suddenly, it was no longer a ghostly figure, but her mother, alive and engulfed in shadows. "You?" "Yes, Anna. I am your mother, your darkness. I am what holds the curse." Anna felt her heart drop. "No, you can't be." Everything started to tumble in her mind, like a jigsaw puzzle coming apart. "You died. You sacrificed yourself. You chose to save me." "Yes," her mother said, voice smooth yet cruel. "But at what cost? I had to become part of this place to protect you, to mold your path. The power of the lake runs through you." "No!" Anna shouted. "You can't mean that." "Oh, but it is." The creature laughed, a heart-wrenching sound that echoed through the air like a mocking bell. "You think you're fighting to break the curse? You are the curse, Anna. You are the bloodline that feeds it." Anna felt a surge of confusion and pain. The shadows felt heavier, pressing down, twisting around her limbs. "No, I am not the curse. You were supposed to protect us." Her mother stepped closer, the shadows tightening around her. "Did I not protect you, or did I confine you to a life of misery?" The water around them surged, growing colder as the darkness pressed in. "Release them!" Anna shouted, feeling the weight of lost souls surrounding her, their cries echoing painfully. "They deserve to be freed!" "And at what cost?" Her mother's expression twisted into something unsettling. "You don't understand, Anna. They were sacrificed for you to live. You must embrace your legacy. You alone hold the key to power." "No!" Anna screamed, tears streaming down her face. "You did this, not me!" The shadows surged again, and with a deafening roar, Mark was pulled deeper. "Anna, help me!" His voice echoed, lost and desperate, floating further into the abyss. "Mark!" she cried, the sound tearing from her throat. "Hold on." But as Mark disappeared, the shadows arched over Anna, pulling her deeper into the darkness. "You think this ends with struggle?" her mother whispered, a dark smile creeping across her face. "This is just the beginning." Then, without warning, the world cracked around them, a fracture so powerful that everything exploded into light. The shadows loosened just long enough for Anna to breathe, and she couldn't help but look to where Mark had been. But behind her mother, the fabric of reality split open like a serpent's maw, exhaling a deep and terrible truth. "Let me show you," her mother said, voice sultry. The air shimmered, and through the ethereal veil, Anna saw a vision of herself standing in a different place, a different time. It was a grand hall, adorned in opulence. She looked powerful. I'm the queen?" Anna gasped, catching her breath. Scrambling to grasp what was happening, her mother nodded. Shadows, twisting into a crown above Anna's head as if they were nothing but obstacles in our way. Ancestors who stood against us, and now, at that moment, she pointed to the darkness. "They are your power." Anna reeled, realization hitting her like a brick. "You chose me over them? You'd sacrifice anyone for your own gain." A flicker ignited in her mother's eyes. "The curse isn't mine to bear anymore. It's yours. You have their lives in your hands, where they belong." "No." The anguish in Anna's heart surged, drowning her in despair. "This isn't how it should be." The shadows howled, swirling around her as if sensing her turmoil. Suddenly, time seemed to freeze. Mark's last scream echoed in her ears, reverberating with the agony of the lost. Anna jerked as cold fingers gripped her heart. "Mark, no!" The shadows buzzed with chaos and shadows. She gasped as she felt the realization slip between her fingers. All of it, the legacy, the power, swirled before her in a vortex, spinning with rage. Everything she thought to be. She turned, eyes widening in horror, as a new figure emerged. A dark silhouette rising from the depths, one she had never anticipated. "Father?" "Anna!" he bellowed, his presence towering above the water, darkness and light woven in his being. "You must choose, but do not fall to her illusions." Shock rippled through her body, and the shadows recoiled in fear, revealing her father's visage. "You?" she whispered, disbelief gripping her heart. "I'm here to set you free," he yelled, the ground trembling as he reached out. "Your mother's power is deceitful. She won't let you go." The tumult around them intensified, shadows slashing, screams pressing upon them both. "What have you done?" her mother shrieked, fury igniting her eyes. "You were supposed to be mine." "No!" Anna shouted back, feeling the power surge through her, igniting the pendant. "I choose to fight." But the air crackled with tension. The battle was just beginning. Her mother's face twisted into rage and as the shadows surged, a defining tremor rippled through the water, and she could feel the hearts of the lost souls, the pounding, desperate, filling every breath she took. In that moment, everything roared back to life. The tears, the sacrifices, the truth, all wrapped around her in a singular, powerful revelation. "Mark!" she cried, her heart breaking. "Don't lose hope." "I won't!" he screamed back, fighting against the crushing darkness. "Stay strong. You have to find your true power." But as the battle of wills reached its unbearable peak, the shadows surged with new energy, twisting sharply around her father. "You should have stayed out of this," her mother hissed, rage dripping from her voice, unraveling at the seams as darkness clawed at the very fabric of their reality. In that moment, Anna felt the world tremble, and as the echoes of power collided, one haunting thought washed over her. No one was safe. The shadows drew back, revealing a deeper darkness. And with tea, and she was just finding her ground, Anna stood at the brink of the chaos, heart racing, the darkness swirling around her like a storm. The weight of her mother's betrayal pressed heavily on her chest. "You're wrong!" she shouted, desperation mingling with fierce determination. "I won't become what you want!" The shadows lashed out at her, fury igniting in her mother's eyes. "You'll see, Anna. You think you can fight this? You're part of it." The watery abyss roared, the voices of the lost souls rising in a haunting crescendo around her. "Mark!" she screamed, searching frantically for him. The shadows thrashed violently, but through the chaos, she caught a glimpse of his struggle. "Hold on!" Fear gripped her heart, tightening like a vice. She felt his presence fading, a flicker in the depths of the turmoil. "No more!" Anna yelled, feeling the light from the pendant pulse fiercely. With a swift breath, she focused on the warmth radiating from her mother's pendant. "Cha!" she cried, raising the pendant high. "I choose love. I choose to fight for the lost." The light exploded, a blinding beacon of hope shining against the encroaching shadows. Her mother's figure flickered, anger twisting her expression. "You can't fight fate, Anna. You're destined to lead the lost." "No!" Anna roared, feeling the shadows strike violently, the ground trembling as if in response to her fury. "You made your choices. I make mine." In an instant, the world twisted, shadows spiraling outward like tendrils of a storm. But Anna's light began to envelop the darkness, illuminating the very essence of the lake, revealing the truth hidden within. "Mark!" she shouted again, her voice carrying across the chaos. "Fight through it. You are strong." She felt a surge of energy siphoning off the shadows, clawing at her heart, but she pushed it back. "You won't take us." The waters pulsated in response, shaking with the collective power of the abandoned souls rising around. "You are free. You deserve to find peace." She let the light surge through her, pushing back the darkness, allowing the warmth to envelop Mark, lifting him from the grasp of despair. The shadows screamed now, rage palpable. "This isn't over," her mother howled, fury rising as Anna continued to radiate light. "You belong to the darkness." "No." Anna embraced the warmth, the love of the lost grounding her. "I belong to the light." The roar of the lake grew violent, and with each heartbeat, Anna pushed forward, illuminating everything in the grip of shadows. Suddenly, she felt a rush of wind, a gentle, powerful force that swirled around them. It broke through the shadows, vestiges of lost souls rising above the waters, visible in the radiant glow of the pendant. "Anna!" Mark gasped, his eyes wide with disbelief. "You did it! You're free!" With a final surge of strength, Anna released the magic contained within her. Light blossomed across the lake, bursting from her in an X. The darkness shrieked, raging against the inevitable as it began to retreat, twisting back into the depths from which it came. Her mother's cries faded into nothing, drifting away, as Anna finally felt a sense of calm wash over her. In that moment, the water glimmered peacefully, and Anna turned to Mark, breathless. "Are you okay?" She reached for him, her heart pounding as their eyes met. Mark nodded, tears streaking down his face. "I'm free, Anna. We're finally free." The warmth, radiating around them, echoed through their hearts as they noticed the multitude of souls rising from the depths, tranquility enveloping them. One by one, they began to shine, their forgotten lives celebrated as they soared into the night sky. "We did it!" Anna exclaimed, exhilaration blooming in her chest. "Together," Mark whispered, a sense of peace settling over him. But even as they embraced this moment of victory, the questions surged once more. The lake lay still now, the curse broken. Yet we have to. We owe it to them. But this place, it will always hold a part of us. As they looked out over the serene water, the memories of their lineage swirled like mist, tangled in the secrets of Crystal Lake. They were free, yet that freedom came with complexity, a legacy they would carry in their hearts. Mark took Anna's hand, squeezing it gently. "Where do we go from here?" She gazed into the distance, feeling the weight of their choices. "We move forward, with love, and we never forget." As they stood there, the night sky unfolded above, the stars shining brightly, beckoning them toward a new beginning. But even as anticipation fluttered in their hearts, a flicker of darkness hid just beyond. The final whispers of a curse, lingering beneath the surface. And Anna knew that while they had won the battle, the war with the legacy of the lake was still out there, waiting, watching. "Let's go," she whispered, pulling Mark closer. "We have work to do." And as they stepped